Hey y'all, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad we can hang out again today. Today I'm planning on answering the questions from the Know the Novel Linkup, hosted by Christine Smith. If you don't know what this Linkup is, I will leave the link to her blog post down below. But essentially she puts together this Linkup where there's 3 different posts, one for October, November, and December, where each post has 10 questions for people to answer about their works in progress or whatever story they want to talk about. And it's a way to help tell other people about their stories. So anyway, that's what my plan is today. I'm going to answer them about a project I don't think I've really talked about a lot here, but I've talked about in my newsletter. But essentially the title that I'm using publicly is Project Squad Goals. It is a dystopian, and there's not a lot I can share about it just yet because it will provide spoilers, but it's a dystopian novel. I'm more than halfway through it. I just did a pretty large writing session over the past weekend and got a lot done on it. So anyway, let's jump right on into the questions. The first one is, what first sparked the idea for this novel? And that was actually my best friend and co-author, Helena George. We were just chatting, throwing out some ideas and stuff, and she was the one who gave me the idea for this story. I had not intended on writing anything like it, but she threw out this idea and it stuck, and my brain just went on it, and I was like, I have to write this story. So she was the first person to give me the idea. The next question is, share a blurb or an overall summary. So I don't have a blurb yet, but essentially my overall summary is 4 individuals team up together to save the world from imminent destruction. That's pretty vague, but it's also essentially what the story's about. The next question is, where does the story take place, and what are some of your favorite aspects from the world? My novel takes place on Earth, in the future. And some of my favorite aspects, I think the one, I haven't written it yet, it hasn't come into the story yet, but I'm envisioning it, is this specific base. It's pretty massive, and it has a lot of underwater caverns and stuff to kind of network the base together, and I think that's going to be really fun to write. There's, tricky things there, like if it's at the bottom of the ocean, if the caverns collapse or something, the entire place can be flooded. So there's a lot of fun things that I can do with that aspect, and I'm really excited to write it. The next question is, tell us about your protagonist. So again, there are 4 protagonists, and each one of them comes to the team with a specific skill set. We have a tech, we have a soldier, we have a pilot, and we have a medic. And each one of them has specific things that they bring to the table, and on top of that, they also all have specific fears or responses that they have that they are struggling to overcome throughout the novel. And I think that's one of the unique aspects of the story, is that each one of them has some very, very difficult things to overcome, and a lot of the novel is showing them trying to overcome those fears or responses or whatever it is that they're going through. So yeah, those are my protagonists. The next question is, who or what is the antagonist? So basically there are 2. There's a person as the antagonist, and he is trying to take over the world. And then there are also the fears that my characters are going through, and those are things they have to overcome, and those play as antagonists as well throughout the story. And yeah, I really like that aspect. It's kind of been fun to explore, and I can't wait till y'all get to read it. The next question is, what excites you most about this novel? I don't know if I would classify it so much as excite, but I like how the different themes that are being incorporated throughout the novel. I think it covers a lot of topics that are underrepresented, and I think it kind of excites me to be able to open up a little bit of dialogue around those topics. So that kind of excites me a lot about this novel. The next question is, this going to be a series, a standalone, or something else? So basically it's a standalone. You know, I always say that things can change. I try to keep an open mind with that, especially knowing how I work. A lot of times stories become series. Ship Secrets and Survivors was supposed to be a standalone, and it turned out to be a 4-book series and a short story collection. So, you know, things can change. But yeah. The next question, are you plotting, pantsing, or something else? I am plotting. I typically have an outline for my novels, but I am not one of those extensive plotters where they have like character sheets and, you know, world building already figured out and all this. I just need an outline to start. All the other stuff comes later for me, otherwise I'll just get overwhelmed and I'll never write it, because I'll feel like the first draft has to be perfect because I've already put in so much work envisioning the story, and then when I actually put it down on paper it doesn't turn out to be the way I want it, and then I just feel discouraged. So I generally just try to have an outline that is loose, that I can eliminate chapters if I need to, and I just work off of that, and then later I can figure out everything else, and it's just, that's how it works for me. Yeah. The next question is name a few unique elements in this story. I've named a few. One is the themes that are being covered throughout the story. I think those are kind of unique in the genre. Well, not necessarily in the genre, but in like the clean fiction category. I think it's not necessarily covered as much. And also I think that some of the bases and world building aspects are unique. I really like how it's going to turn out, I think, and the way it's envisioned in my head, I think has a lot of potential. And so I think like that underwater base, I think is going to be a fun, unique element to the story. And then lastly is to share some fun extras, be it a playlist, aesthetics, etc, etc. So basically the aesthetic I have so far is here. It has a few pictures that I pulled from Pixabay about various vibes from the story. And then yeah, the themes that I'm working on throughout the story are, you know, some various different things with mental illness or, you know, trauma or grief. And I think those themes are important to discuss, but they're hard to talk about. So I hope that it can bring at least a chance to have a conversation around it for people who read the novel. But yeah, those are things that I'm excited about. Those are a few fun extras that I'm working on incorporating into the story. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Let me know what your novel is about. What's a favorite aspect of your story that you're working on right now? And if you are interested in participating in Christine's Linkup, I will leave the link to her blog post down below so you can join in. And you can go see everybody else's posts as they put up their links. And yeah, I hope we can hang out again sometime soon. But until then, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye!